are mine, and many of you may be able to relate to them, and many of you may not, but it just shows the type of person that he is, or was, and still is, even in our hearts. Him and my mother separated when I was very young. And at this time, we all grieve in different ways. And as I look back and think about life with Dad, I could never remember any bad memories, not a single one. Everything that he taught me and told me and inspired me to do was all positive. It's really hard to explain how someone can make you realize your purpose in life without technically being right there. I look back at that first 11 years and it made me realize that hatred is not needed in life. There's too much hate in the world as it is. People make mistakes, but if they have love in their heart, shouldn't we forgive them? When I was really young, he used to convince me that I was the best soccer player he'd ever seen. Doubt he was being serious, but he did that to raise my spirits, to make me feel confident. Whether I was the worst player or not, he did that. It's true. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You know the way he was. He was a very uplifting man. Yeah. Extremely uplifting. Now, 27 years later, I remember all the small things. His favorite food, liver and onions. You know, his favorite ice cream, butter pecan, which is the reason why I love butter pecan ice cream now. Although he didn't believe in luck, he had lucky numbers. 4 and 6, 46, 64, whatever combination you want to pull out there, you know. He taught me how to run a farm at a young age. Made me realize I hate the smell of chicken crap. You know what I'm talking about. Remember the Clyde burgers? Oh, they're delicious. I can still taste them. I remember fishing with family in Alabama. Dr. Mario. Spending time with Uncle Charlie and Aunt Ruthie, Aunt Carolyn and Gary, then more fishing. We like to fish. The home-cooked meals. Him making me play with the older kids when I played soccer, so if I beat them, I would be more confident with myself. He found ways to make you more confident with who you were. And not many people can do that. Showed me how to raise a dog, Duchess. Duchess was literally the perfect childhood dog. He was happy, he was healthy, he was inspiring, and even more obvious by how many people we have here, he was very loving, extremely loving. He never showed me a shred of negativity in his life, not one shred. And I've literally, the last 3 days straight, been looking back, trying to find anything that I can micromanage, because I'm like he is. You know, I have to analyze everything. Everything. It's a curse. It's not a good thing. Every accomplishment I have, I stop and think, would he be proud of me? That's all I really cared about when it came to him. I wanted him to be proud of the man that I've become. Life will hit us with our twists and turns, but it's too short to live it without inspiring along the way, and he showed that. We were blessed to have him in our lives. No matter how long it may have been, even if it was just a day, we were blessed to have that day. He understood that the youth is the most important thing in this world. He inspired, taught Sunday school, coached. I try to live the same way. I've recently become a coach because the youth is the future. And there's too much negativity for them to not have an inspiring person in their life. We must spread his inspiration. We have to. If we don't, then what are we doing here? When I was born, I was given his initials, and as I was growing up, he told me that he wanted to carry that on as his legacy, JDW. So when I had a child, when I had my first son, only son, his name is James Devin Williams. So his legacy will live on in what he wanted. I seriously, as a kid, and I still can envision it, I thought there was no way I was not going to be an Olympic soccer player because of his inspiration. Seriously, like he really put that positivity in your mind and in your heart. And it's just unbelievable that I can still remember that 30 years ago. If anything is ever remembered about him 1,000 years down the road, it should be of how loving he was. Give me a second here. Enjoy every moment, treasure every memory. As both my moms have told me in the last few days, he's kicking up gold dust. Doing his little leprechaun kick. Surround yourself with positivity and love, and positivity and love will fuel your soul. He will be missed in our presence, but he's deserved his next journey and his trip. He's more than deserved it. Okay. The last time I was able to speak with him and he was responsive and showing gestures and because he couldn't really talk because of what was going on, I tried doing anything I could for him. You know, he was overheated, so I asked him if he needed a cold towel for his head, and he literally could not say yes or no. And it was hurtful to see, but I knew he was trying, and because he never gave up. He never gave up, which is why I gave him a bracelet that I made. It literally says, "Never give up." As I was leaving that day, I was walking out the door of the room, and you know, hospital rooms aren't really small, but they're not big either. But I'm at the door, and I had to stop and turn around and tell him, "I love you, Dad." And he had his mask on, his ventilator, and I heard it clear as day. Like if it was you or I, it would just be a loud statement. But for him, it was yelling. He took everything. It took everything in his heart or everything in his body to get this out. He said, "I love you too." Those are the last words I got from my father. He did everything in his power to make sure that I heard that. COVID may have weakened his body and put him where he was, but he was stronger in his mind and his soul than any of us ever will be. We have to live by that inspiration. Every time I travel down I-75 and I see that rocket in Alabama, because I travel a lot, I'm reminded of Dad. And even when things are rough and we're not talking to family for stupid reasons, or we may think they're important reasons, or they're not. Life's short, or this journey is short. I served in the military for 9 years. I've seen people not come home. Then I've seen people come home and not make it through the day because they couldn't handle the stress. He would not allow that. He's the type of person who would not allow that. Simple, plain and simple. He would make sure that you were inspired and you would go through and be who you needed to be. Everybody has a purpose. We may not know our purpose yet in our lives, but he knew his. And he showed it every single day. I'm very privileged to have him as a father. I'm blessed to have him as a father. And it really makes me happy to see all the people here to show his support. Thank you. I know he's looking down like, they didn't need to come here for this, because he was humble, extremely humble, but he deserves it too. I just ask that everyone remember who he was, not the things that he's done that may have been negative or what. We don't care about negativity. Surround yourself with positivity. Positivity will surround your life. He wanted everyone to be happy. He wanted everyone to be inspired. Please remember him for that. Thank you.